From the CNN Center in Atlanta, this is Early Edition, and I'm Carol Lynn.
Good morning, folks. I'm Leon Harris. Just checking our top stories right now for you. Vice President Al Gore says the Florida vote recount should go on without any rush to judgment. His words, Gore has dispatched former Secretary of State Warren Christopher to Florida to observe the recount process. The Bush campaign sent another former Secretary of State, James Baker, the third, to observe the recount process for Mr. Bush. George W. Bush says that he is confident that he will end up with the most votes in Florida, and with that, enough electoral votes nationwide to win the White House.
So let's go back to Ground Zero, Tallahassee, Florida, now for more on that vote recount.
That's right. CNN's Bill Hemmer is anchoring our coverage from outside the Secretary of State's office in Tallahassee this morning. Bill?
Leon, Carol, good morning once again. We were talking yesterday about the amazing night that happened overnight on Tuesday night. Well, indeed, the story continues today. Just when you thought all the twists were covered, the twists continue yet again this morning. CNN's Mike Betcher also with me live here in Tallahassee, and the voting is going to continue in approximately, the recounting anyway, in about 30 minutes' time. The building behind us is where the numbers will be called in. Give us some insight as to what will be taking place inside those offices.
Well, it's on the 18th floor, and I think most of what will take place has already occurred. Faxes have probably been sent in overnight. So when they open up that office at 8 p.m., the counties, which have been counting all night long and most of yesterday during the afternoon, will have sent in their results. Now, at close of business yesterday, the state, the Division of Election Office up there, had received 17 reports from counties, and at that point, it had changed the vote tally very little, just in favor of Vice President Gore by about 8 votes. But that has grown through the night as the counties have reported on their own. Now, these tallies will be counted this morning, and you have a sense that within a few hours, we should have some sort of result. Now, that is only the first step. After the recount, then there is the certification step. The counties must certify the votes, and then the state canvassing board must also certify those votes. And then there's a second step. There are the overseas ballots, and we've been trying to get a figure on exactly how many of those ballots have been sent out, but we really don't know exactly. We do know that in 1996, 2,300 were returned. So looking at that historically, we're told that there will be some interpolation of the figures looking historically about what had been received and going from there and saying, well, this amount or maybe a little more will be received this year. Those results must be certified in 10 days, so that would be a week from tomorrow. So there's still a long process going on, not including the lawsuits, Bill, which who knows?
I heard a voter in San Francisco yesterday say, why did they shut down yesterday at 6 o'clock? Why couldn't they, sarcastically said, why could they hire temporary workers to finish the job? Was there a reason given for knowing that the eyes of the world are watching Tallahassee to shut the offices last night?
Yeah, they were very tired. They had been up all night the night before, and the people up there working hard. I've talked to a lot of the people up there, and they're good people, and they're taking their job very seriously. They're keenly aware that everyone's watching this. But yesterday at 6, they were zombies up there.
Quickly here, it was said yesterday that a 5 o'clock announcement was pending later today. Is that hard and fast, or could that slide one way or another?
My personal opinion, knowing how the system works up there, it's going to be reported county by county. I really believe there's going to be a stack of faxes up there, and I believe that we could have something by late this morning.
Okay. All right, we'll see. And then we'll see if there's a recount for the recount, too, which always remains a possibility. Mike Betcher, thanks again. We'll be here throughout the morning here. Back to Atlanta now, more with Carol and Leon there.
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
Good deal. We'll get back to you a little bit later on, Bill. Bill's going to be there for quite a while. He'll be busy, too. Now, let's go into business, where the uncertainty in the presidential election is affecting the financial markets.
They don't like instability. Prudence Solomon is at the CNN Financial News Desk in New York, previewing today's market action. Hi, Prudence.
Good morning, Carol and Leon. You're right. The markets certainly don't like uncertainty. Stock index futures, though, are modestly higher, suggesting the trading day could begin with some gains. The unresolved presidential election is dominating the talk in the markets, but investors' attention will also focus on the economy and corporate profits. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern, the producer price index is expected to show inflation at the wholesale level remains in check. Analysts expect a slight increase in both the overall index and the core rate, which excludes food and energy. Now, on the earnings front, Walt Disney reported better than expected profits within the hour. Revenue climbed 6%. Dell Computer and the Gap will report today as well. Both companies have issued profit warnings for the latest quarter. Investor jitters about political uncertainty, along with worries about high-tech earnings, hurt stocks yesterday. The Dow Industrials lost 45 points, the Nasdaq Composite tumbled 184 points, and the Standard & Poor's 500 index fell 22. And that's the latest in business news. Early Edition will be back in a moment.